Is this Gloria Estefan? What a feeling. We're making a pond filter at Menards, yeah. What's up, everybody? It's Jack and Dan.
And today, we're going to do an unboxing of our pond filter.
Look at that mamma jamma.
Big boy.
All right, Jack loves doing the unboxing. Kame's over here up top. She's checking us out. She's like, what do you guys got going on here? So about a month ago, we kind of looked all summer at different kind of pots and different kind of things. And we found this on Amazon from a company called Veritech. Let me see over here how to spell it. Veritech. It was on sale. Looked pretty awesome. Basically, it's just a big gray planter. And obviously, we're going to be DIYing this.
What's this on for? So
yeah, go ahead. We liked it because it was gray. We liked it because it was kind of modern looking. And we may actually end up getting more of them, but this is basically going to be our primary filter. Oh, I got all the plastic, huh? There we go. This is going to primarily be our filter here. Obviously, it has plugs in the bottom that we're going to have to, plug. One of the things I liked about this, go ahead and just set it up here on this wall. Here, I'll get one side, you get the other side.
Great planter.
Yeah, go ahead and set it right here. One of the things I liked that Jack really liked it. He wanted it to be, gray to kind of match everything.
Yeah.
One of the things I liked is the measurements on it. And I also liked that they had this whole thing here. Now, ultimately, what we're going to do is we're going to hook up a little pond pump, and it's going to be over in the corner of the pond, probably over here. And it's going to come up off of the corner there, and it's going to go down behind, and it's going to come up into the back of this. And basically, we're going to make kind of a huge hang on the back kind of filter with this.
Basically.
The water's going to go down. There's going to be a little pipe, and we're probably going to drill holes in this so that the water can go through, but I did like this. And then we're going to put a bunch of foam on top of it so that the water goes through the foam. And then we're going to drill a couple holes in here and have a little spout that comes out and dumps into the water. So I do like it. It's kind of fancy. It's kind of modern looking.
Yeah.
Has the gray look to it.
Look, it says made in Canada.
Yeah, look at that. We've got a lot of Canadian friends that watch our channel and fellow YouTubers.
5-year warranty and all weather resistant.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. I was a little concerned because it is going to be getting in the sun, sitting by the window. So it's going to be over there. And we're going to kind of get to work on this. Now, there's a garden center by us that sells a lot of pond stuff. One of the things they sell is huge rolls of this foam filter type of stuff. Now, we have a medium in here already. And we've got a lot of microscopic organisms growing in the gravel. It's still looking pretty blue. As we said in our last video, we're letting a lot of this algae and the part that we won't really notice sitting in front of it grow. Also on the sides, that's going to help, to get rid of some of the nitrates and stuff like that. This little FX4 that we got from our subscribers, James and Mallory, has been working fantastic, but I can't wait to move it and have this over there. So what's going to happen is this thing here is going to be sitting right through there and make a little bit of a waterfall. Probably have two spouts come out of it, do you think? You want to do like one big spout in the middle or like one spout on either side? What do you think would be better?
One spot on either side.
Yeah, I think so too. It's so big. So anyway, we're going to start getting to work on this. This is the unboxing though. Turn around so we can see the actual front of it.
I think Larry approved. I think he's quite interested.
Larry's checking it out.
He's approved.
Yeah, I think I like this little Veritech emblem.
Well, that's neat.
Yeah, so we'll make that the front.
Yeah, that's snazzy.
Yeah. Now, the only thing is because this kind of concave in here, we're going to have to measure. Probably what we'll do is we'll get the foam filter as big as the top, and then we're going to get a few layers of it. And then the smaller layers that go down in here, we'll have to kind of trim them. But I think it'll be relatively easy to clean. We'll be able to like roll it up, put it in a bucket, take it in outside. We could just wash it out on the patio. In the wintertime, obviously, we could put it in like the shower or the tub if we have to and just lay it out, hit it with the shower head kind of thing. So, yeah. So we're going to take a better look at this. This is kind of neat, though. I mean, this really is neat. It's a very, very thick, durable thing. We'll put a link in the description for this. I know that when we were looking, we got it on sale, but I don't know if it still is on sale. But this is a great company. They've got a lot of different types of planters. But what do you think? Think it's pretty sharp?
I do think it's nice. I mean, it does blend in. It's almost the same grade. It's
Yeah.
the cinder block.
It's, when you see something online, you never know. But I think it's came out pretty sharp. And it really is pretty big. It's going to take up almost that whole area behind that. Now, we kind of thought about when we start adding more plants, we might be able to get 2 shorter ones and put them right next to this and do some aquaponics in there. Again, we're going to be adding plants and everything after we get the filtration going, after we get, fish in here and those kind of things. We'll be adding plants all around this whole room. But let's go up to the garden center and take a look there and see what they got. Just wanted to show this real quick. This company is very famous for making these hanging. It does come with these huge indentions because they have, you can order these huge metal brackets and it'll sit on a fence or a windowsill or something like that. We're obviously just going to set it down. Now, again, it does not come with plugs, but these will be pretty easy for us to plug. We have all kind of different plastic and materials that we can silicone in there so that it won't leak. Okay, so we just threw it back there to see what it's going to look like. It's going to look pretty neat, man. It's going to look pretty cool. I'm excited to see it. Well, anyway, we're going to measure the inside of this, make sure we get these big enough, and we're head up to the garden center. All right, you've never been here before, have you, dude?
No.
This is literally right next to the gym where Pamela works and where we go. It's like a mile from our house. It's it's called Garden Village. It's a little family-owned garden place. Look at this place, how awesome it is. They do tons and tons of stuff, and they got lots of pond stuff. We're going to actually show you their pond. They have a really cool pond up here. Let's go take a look at it, dude. Check this pond out they got up here, man.
Got any fishing charters?
Yeah, they got koi and everything.
Yeah, they do.
Pretty huge ones, too.
They
Some
got
of them.
little ones and they got huge ones.
Look at these guys, huh? So this is pretty nice. They have a really nice big water fountain. Now this is a really big pond kind of filter going off, and it runs down over there. The intake is there, and it outputs here. You can see they have intakes coming down over here. Big, huge koi. Look at this big white koi there. We've got some butterfly koi. They're all over here because I think we're probably gonna feed them. Look at that big golden butterfly. Really nice pond. Sits out here in the sun. Really cool. They have tons of pond stuff. We got the Sasquatch guys over here. Let's look at this. Got the Bigfoot for the front yard. You said you always wanted one of these, right?
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
This guy here. It's pretty huge, man. But anyway, tons of plants here. Really awesome garden center. Tons of pots, tons of things. Let's go take a look at the pond stuff they have inside. All right, so they are actually cutting us some of our medium. They sell this medium by the foot. It's about $25 for a foot. It is 56 inches long, which is much longer than we need, but it's 2 inches thick. Look how thick that stuff is. So that's pretty awesome. They do have different ones here. This is more of a coarse. We're using kind of a medium, and then they also have a really fine one. We think a medium kind of coarse is going to be pretty good. He's giving us actually a little bit of a deal on that. It's about 27. The more coarse is 22, and then of course the other ones are a little bit different too. But they have, look at all this stuff. I mean, they have tons of different stuff here too. These are, obviously smaller pieces we wouldn't really be able to use. We'd have to piece them together. But I really like the idea that this is so huge. Look how huge this is, man.
It's 2 inches.
Yeah, look at this stuff. This is good stuff. Yeah, this is really good stuff. Again, we'll probably also put some sort of, gravel in the bottom, or rocks, or lava rock, or something like that too. But look at all the stuff they have here for ponds and stuff, man. It's pretty amazing.
They got koi food. They got every type of fish food. Really.
Yeah, what a really great place. We'll definitely put a link in the description for them. Tons of pond ideas, floating plants, all kind of things, floating islands for turtles and things. I mean,
look at any landscaping thing, anything with water, anything with grass. It's really nice.
yeah. So look how big that roll is. How cool is that, huh? And if we need more, we can always come here and get more. They do have some fittings and things like this here, but not exactly what we're looking for. We're probably going to have to go to Lowe's or something like that, or Menards, to look for a different kind of thing. But yeah, we'll take a little look around here while we're here. Just all the awesome stuff they have. Here's another room off the main room. I mean, look at all this awesome stuff they have here. Lots of water features. Super, super cool. All kind of hanging plants, all kind of succulents, ferns.
Self-sustaining greenhouse.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some really nice greenhouses
They
here,
got
man.
the moisture because it's a roof, but they also have the sun coming in and they
Yeah.
water them and stuff.
It's really nice. Awesome baskets you could get as a gift. Look at this. It's like one of those living wall pictures. It's got succulents on it. It's hanging on the wall. Isn't that neat? That is so cool. Really, really cool stuff here. This is a top pond. He was showing me this about 150 or 200 bucks. I forget. It's like a top overspill. So you could have a pond that kind of spills down into your lower pond. Super neat. So there's an example of something we could have used, more like a bigger filter. But again, $225, we got our planter for about $45. So, and it's a little more aesthetic. But if you're outside, you're gonna build rocks around it or something like that, you could definitely use something like that. They have pumps here, everything like that. Really got everything here, man. What a great place. Super awesome hummingbird stuff here. Look at all the bird houses, man. How cool, how cool. Look at all this stuff. This is the trellis type of stuff we were talking about that we might use. Put it up the side of the wall, try to grow, tomatoes up that wall and stuff like that. A lot of this stuff they're already clearing out for fall, and they've got all the mums coming in. Probably gonna get us some mums here. Look at these mums, $7. Beautiful. Look at all those. Those things are gonna sell like hotcakes. I really like the purple ones, man. Probably gonna get some of those for sure.
Here we have the Venus flytraps. They're just babies. They're not too powerful yet.
Oh wow! I
We
gotta
have
tell
the
you.
purple edition.
Oh, look at those! I've never seen those. Those are awesome. They got like tons of heads on them.
They actually save their energy until insect comes in contact with them.
These little carnivorous baby plants. We might have to get some of these. Look at this one, man. Got them in little bowls and stuff, little biospheres.
That's a big one right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really neat. I tell you, they're very green. A lot of times when you see them in the pet stores and stuff, they're just like not that good a shape.
Yeah.
You might definitely have to think about getting some of those, man. How cool. How cool, man. Look, they even got a Groot gnome here. How cool is he, man? We have to get him to put it in the yard, huh?
Yeah, that's cool.
So we got our foam. It's pretty huge, huh?
Yeah.
So we'll kind of trim it up a little bit, and we'll have a little bit of extra. We won't have enough to have two, but again, if we get this going and we feel like we need more, we can come here. It's just right down the street. Again, look how beautiful this is. I mean, they've got some really great stuff here. Look at all these guys, man. Really, really awesome place. Awesome plants. Got to show some of these big guys right here. Look at these guys. Wow, huh? What a great place. It's funny because we're so close to home, and we've like never come here. We forget about it. So let's throw that in the car. All right, so here we are back home. This is this awesome big piece. Again, it was about $29 with tax and everything. We might be able to trim it so that one of them is down earlier and might be shorter, and then we could block and then put another one. So it might actually be 4 inches thick, which is pretty good. The first thing we're gonna do is wash this thing really good, and then of course silicone these holes. We do have some leftover remnants of Remlon and some of the other things we used for lids in the past. This is the pump that we got a long time ago at Mark's, isn't it?
Yes.
800 gallons per hour. It was on sale. I think we were just in there a couple years ago in the clearance aisle for like $25. That's about half price of what one of these would cost. So it's old school plastic container. Jack's cutting it apart. Basically, we just want to kind of get a look at this. Now, what we're probably going to do is back here in this corner, or possibly in this corner. I'm thinking this corner over here. This pump will be submerged, and it will have some sort of pre-filter on it, which we're going to have to figure out. And the water will go in it. It'll go out. We'll have a tube that runs in the back, and it's going to come up to the back of this, and then we're going to have like a little U for PVC, and then it's going to run down in here, and that water is going to empty into here, come up through there. And I'm thinking we're just going to do one big hole here, one big waterfall type of thing. Now, if 800 gallons an hour isn't enough, of course, we can upgrade this. We have seen pumps on sale, for that do twice as much as this one. But we just want to kind of get a look at this. Let me help you here. So take that big Mamma Jamma out of there. A lot of rigid plastic, huh? Can you get it? Yeah.
It's coming. Oh, it's got a part to
That's got a spout.
Yeah, it's got a spout.
So this is pretty cool. I'm not sure. It's called Pond Boss. I've seen these a lot. This is actually really kind of cool. So it does have a variable control. So kind of show them. This is a little kind of like not a pre-filter, but you put that on the intake so it doesn't suck anything. Easy. Don't over tighten it. Those aren't super, super tough. So, and then this guy, what you could do is you put that on there if you want. Let's say we want to slow this down or make it faster. If you put that on there, this has a valve on it. Just show me the valve, kiddo.
Oh, okay.
So this is the valve where you can turn it up or down, and then the extension will, of course, come off here. In which case, again, you could put a tube. We're probably just going to put a tube and have it come off. But we could use PVC. We'll have to decide what we want to do. We're going to go to Menards and take a look. That's a pretty big mamma jamma, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty long cord. I don't know what it says the length of this cord is, but definitely long enough. We're only going to have it come out.
Right there we go.
Go right there. Yeah, there you go.
Got it.
And then I think this whole entire thing comes off as well, off the front here.
Yeah.
Yep, just like that. So you can get to the impeller and kind of, if you have to change it or clean it or maintain it. Pretty awesome for $25, huh?
Yeah.
We'll see if it's big enough. We'll see if it's going to do the trick. That'd be. Now this is not really 400 gallons. It's a 300-gallon tub. But of course, you have to subtract. You remember the gravel takes up a few gallons. The bricks take up a few gallons. It's not completely full to the top. This tank isn't completely full. It's a 90-gallon. So I would say there's probably about 350, maybe less actual water. So if this is doing 800, let's go about 2.5 times if this is being cycled in an hour. I'd say that's pretty good, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty decent.
We'll see. We'll see how it all works when we get it all together. All right, what's up, guys? It's way later in the day. We had to go practice some discus and all kind of crazy stuff, didn't we, dude?
Yeah.
Now it's like 8 o'clock at night. We're at Menards. We're probably the last people here besides the birds you can hear chirping up here. They have a huge pond section. Two things that we already found was we got a little bit of a pre-filter thing that's going to go on that pump so that, like nothing gets stuck to it or it doesn't bring up any big chunks and stuff like that, right?
This valve.
Right, well, this is the valve that we brought in order to size it. So hold that.
Pump.
What we found here is they got this 3/4-inch corrugated tubing, 20 feet, and that fits right on the end. Totally awesome. 20 feet will probably be more than enough. This is $15.
I'm not going to put it on there because it's really hard to get off, but it fits.
Yeah. So pre-filter's a few bucks. This is 15, so we're looking at 18, 19 bucks now with tax. Now, we do want to show you this. Let me flip this around real quick. Just to kind of show you, even at the end of pond season here, here's the prices. Now, when we start looking at those pumps that we see on the clearance rack over there at Mark's, we got a 800-gallon per hour pump for $25. And you can see here, a 700-gallon one is $70, jumps up to $85 for $1,000. And then they got ones that go up to $1,200, stuff like that. Now, again, we've seen these at Mark's during the wintertime and off-season and stuff like that. Overstock places for like half this price. So we would not buy those here. We would get them there. But just to show you, I mean, that's the thing. So total we're looking at so far in this, what do we have? We got $45 for the planter. Oh, Jack's got an axe he's messing around. Oh, you're always looking for the zombie apocalypse tools when we go to the hardware stores, right?
Yep.
So tubing, $15. Pre-filters, a few bucks. Our pump was $25. So they were up to like $40. The other, the planter was $45. That's like $85. I mean, overall, we're probably going to make this whole entire filter. The mesh stuff was almost $30. So we're looking at about $110, $120 by the time we're done with this thing. That's going to be the total cost. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, if you look at some of these kind of pre-made filters and stuff like this, and they're all just kind of like black and plain looking. You got to build stuff up around them. So honestly, we're doing this for about 1/3 of the cost, at least half of the cost of what something like this would cost you to do, and it's going to look better in our opinion. So let's keep shopping around. We'll find some other better stuff here. All right, we're out of the garden center. We're heading over to plumbing. We got to get some pieces and parts for the hookup. We're walking in Menards, yeah. And we're dancing and singing, and we're making fish tanks and ponds and stuff. Where'd you go? Dude, who sings this song? Is this Gloria Estefan?
I don't even know. Oh, look, I got the space chair.
What else furniture they have here? This space chair. Looks like the one from Ready Player One.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
When you shop Menards. Do we need a 4-foot wrench for $99?
Jesus, it's really heavy.
Think we need one of those to put
Too
our
much of
pond
a
filter
slugger
together?
for the apocalypse. Not fast enough.
Dude, that's amazing. I want the big one.
Yeah, I mean, you could drop it on a zombie's head, but you can't fight with it. It's way too heavy.
Look at all this Halloween stuff already. What's going on? Shout out to Larry D. Chili Head Aquatics right there. It's like the second week of August. Look at this. Look at Jeff. Jeff's gonna take them out. All right, so here's what we came up with. Came over here. We like the gray, so we went that fitting. So basically what's gonna happen is this is gonna come up. We found all these connectors. So it's 3/4. This is gonna go over the top down into. Now we do have those little areas that are structural, but we may have to drill a hole and then screw this together inside there. And probably what we'll do is we'll drill a bunch of holes in this so that the water will be kind of like evenly distributed. But that's the idea. These things aren't very expensive. I mean, even these 12-inch pieces are only like $1.30. So this whole entire apparatus here is gonna be like what, $5, $6 for these little pieces and parts. And we'll get some Teflon tape, make it real good there.
Go right in, drill some holes, and we'll just...
Yeah, it'll be awesome, man. We do still have to find an exit valve for it to pour, so let's find that. All right, we got kicked out. They started announcing we had to leave, right? 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock on a Friday night. We're living the life, right? So this is what we ended up doing. For now, we're gonna try this. We wanna make like one big downspout kind of thing, like out of the front. So they didn't really have it in any other color. White will look okay, it's gray. Basically, this is gonna go through. We got some gaskets for it. And I think both of these pieces were like $4 or $5 together with the gaskets. So anyway, we're gonna figure out a way to basically do it with like a doorknob type of drill, right?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, there's other options, but this is what we're gonna mess around with so far. Probably gonna take up the rest of this tomorrow. We'll decide how we feel when we wake up, right?
Yeah.
All right, so it's the next morning, and honestly, we were just so tired we didn't want to do anything last night. Jack's actually getting cleaned up. We had a big bike ride this morning, and he's got to head to his mom's to do a birthday party thing for a cousin or something. We just kind of threw all this in here, but I just want to kind of show you guys during the next couple of days while I'm working on some of my lunch breaks. I'm going to kind of tinker around with this. Basically, this is going to come off of the pump on the other side, and it's going to go down in here. Now, with these little things, probably what I'm going to do is just drill a hole in this, and then we'll push this through and then screw it in. So this thing will sit along the bottom. Again, we'll screw some holes in the top, drill some holes in the top, and the water will come out. The padding will go on top of this. We'll put a little niche in the padding. But the first thing we need to do is we got to get those holes filled. So all this stuff's going to come out, just kind of sit in a big pile, and take this over into the front workroom and basically just do that. So I'll show you how when I do that, probably my lunch break tomorrow. And that'll sit for a good few days before any water touches it or before we mess around with it and do anything else. Okay, so here we are in the other room. I'll give you guys a little breakdown here of some of the stuff we did. This is one of those kind of things that it just takes little bits at a time. So I work on it on a few lunch breaks. You know, it's because it's just something that takes 5 minutes, and then, you know, you got to wait for it to dry. So what we got a little sanding stone here. I got one of these, like I've had it sitting around forever. Basically sanded around here a little bit to scuff it up. These are just old pieces of plastic. I think I had some old thin plexiglass from like some old picture frames or something like that. I don't know. I just broke some pieces off. It doesn't have to be very big. I'm going to silicone this. I'm going to push this down on here. Just make sure it's kind of in there and kind of fill the hole. Same thing on this side. Then I'm going to flip this over, put some rocks and some things in it, and just weight it down. After that dries, I'll do the other side. But I'll do this side first, show you guys, and then flip it over. Okay, super easy, guys. Again, after you sand it, make sure that you wipe it with a little bit of a damp rag and let it dry, because otherwise the dust will inhibit, you know, it from sticking. So always sand everything up, sanded them up, put a little squirt in it, pushed it right in the hole, moved it around so you can see how it's sealed all the way around. Again, it doesn't really matter what this looks like. It's going to be on the bottom. You can see that I did use a very thin piece though, because there is a little foot here and I don't want it to inhibit these feet from hitting all the way around. So I used a very thin piece. So what I'm going to do now is flip that over. Let me do that. Okay, so I did put a piece of cardboard down, just didn't want anything to stick, just in case, you know, it's extra, it sticks to the table, but I don't think it really will. So as you can see here, I threw another big shot of silicone in that hole just to make sure the hole was full. I had already pre-sanded all that. These are just some old black pieces. This is an old lid or something. I don't even exactly remember. Something I adapted, and I basically just cracked it in half. It was like whatever. Did a little sanding and wiped it off. I'm going to take this guy right here, push it down right on top of that, and smash it. So you can see, you know, that silicone kind of coming through and everything. So basically what this is going to do is this is going to seal off this end really good and the other end really good. And pushing down on this is basically just going to help to seal the other end. Again, these are just old pieces that we had sitting around. There's nothing wrong with them. I don't really need them for anything. It's just, you know, reusing plastic. This one has quite a bit of silicone on it. Again, pushing down on it, gonna make sure it's nice and flat. Wiggle it, wiggle it. I actually sealed Wade's tank. Before it was Wade's tank, it was Cap's tank. Jack named our Blue Beta Cap after Captain America, and our red one Wade Wilson after Deadpool. And that has held for quite a few years now. I did exactly the same thing. Just took some silicone, a little piece of Remlon on both sides, did it both ways, put some stuff on top of it. So this is probably going to stick like a brick on top of this or something to weigh it down. After those have dried, again, I'm going to give them a good 2 or 3 days. We're going to drill a hole through here so that that pipe can fit through, and then it'll come up and we'll show you how we're going to do all that. Just kind of wanted to show you how we're going to do this. Just wanted to seal these holes. We will never use this for anything but what we're using it for. If we really did want to use it as a planter and we can't take these off, we could simply just drill new holes. Boom, 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 or whatever. It's not the end of the world, you know. But anyway, reutilizing some old plastic, and of course we had a tube of silicone. I just used this for the magnet we had left over. Gonna reseal that and probably use it for something else if we need it. So we'll be back after that dries for a couple of days, and we'll do some drilling in here, and then when Jack gets back here in a couple of days, he and I will set this whole thing up. And yes, this is an incredibly cute picture of Jack and I when we used to grow pumpkins at the old house. That was right before we moved here. Love this picture. How cute is that, right? Okay, so it's been a few days since Jack's been able to look at this, and he's trying to check out what I did here. Obviously, all of this silicone is completely dried, and this is totally sealed off. Hopefully, it never leaks. There's always a risk something could leak, no matter how much you seal it, though. So, fingers crossed, it's not a problem. If it is, we'll take it apart and fix it. But hopefully, it isn't. Now, here's the little apparatus that we made while we were walking around the store. Basically, what's going to happen is this is going to hang on the back. That pump hose is going to come up to here. It's going to go into here. We're going to drill a bunch of holes in this. However, here's what we're coming across. The way that this planter is made, go ahead and take the camera over here so they kind of see what I'm doing here. The way this planter is made, it has these reinforcement bins, and we don't want it to give. So we don't necessarily want to drill straight down to put these down in it. What our thought process was to drill some holes down here closer to the end so that we could just take one of them off, basically we might even just take both of them off, to be honest with you. Set this thing down like this where it's going to go, and then feed this through the hole, screw it in, feed that through the hole, and screw it in. We really shouldn't ever have to, like, completely take it apart. I mean, we could leave this all whole and just take out the sponges and clean it and scrub it and clean it in here or whatever, or take the whole thing out, maybe just disconnect this from it and take the pipe and the thing out without actually taking the ends off? It's hard to say, but really you just got to reach in and pop one of these off and then you can take it out. So at the end of the day, that's what we're going to do, because we don't really want to, if you look down over here, we just want to put a hole through this because we don't want to mess with the integrity of this holding this together. So we're going to take one of these big doodads, we're going to drill through the side so that these pipes can fit through. So we're going to do all that. While I'm drilling these holes, Jack's going to take off all these stickers and stuff. Then we're going to take a ton of Teflon tape. We're going to put this whole thing together, and we're going to see how it works. Now, as far as these ends, it doesn't really matter if they leak or not because they're going to be in the filter. The only part we're really going to super Teflon a lot and make sure it doesn't leak is like these. So where this connects, right here, and of course we're going to probably put a pipe clamp kind of thing on the pipe here. So, you know, hopefully that doesn't leak. We'll put a clamp there. We'll Teflon this, make it real tight, and then, of course, Teflon this, make it real tight. This part, even if it leaks, will probably still go down into the filter. So let's get this all together. I'm going to be drilling some holes in here and all that. Jack's going to be taking off all these stickers, and then we'll show you what it's going to look like. Okay, so that bit went right through these like butter. Again, this is like a recyclable kind of rubber. It's pliable, but it's strong. You can see that it's kind of bendy and pliable. It went right through these guys. We're going to test it out here just to kind of show. So we'll be able to basically take these like this, put them through the hole, and then basically screw it in to the thing. So we'll go one side, another side, and then that'll be here. And, you know, we could reach in here and unscrew them, take that out, and then take these out if we really wanted to do like a deep cleaning. The reason, again, we wanted to do that is we just didn't want to mess up the integrity of this. You know, this little hole here isn't going to stop this, you know, basically bridge from working so that this doesn't widen up. So I'm going to take a drill and just drill a bunch of holes in this guy right here. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to put a ton of them, but I'm going to put some nice big ones along it, just so when that water comes down the filter, it evenly disperses along this whole filter. Okay, so we did this one basically, whoops, almost just tripped over the dog. So basically we just did this one just like the other one. This little brace right here actually worked pretty well. These two little bridges, I just kind of held it here, went pom, 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 and that way everything's in here. We'll just vacuum it all out. So we're gonna do that and then put this thing together. Okay, we got that all vacuumed out, totally awesome. We're not like cleaning up this necessarily because, like I said, it is soft. It doesn't really matter. It's not gonna hurt anything or anything. I'm not going to take the time to like cut that all off because no one's going to see it. It's inside the filter and it doesn't matter and it's soft. Now what we did here is we went ahead and started putting this together. Started using some Teflon tape. Again, I went around about 2 times and it still didn't feel super, super tight. This is going to be the inside anyway, so it doesn't really matter. On this top part, I'm going to take a longer piece of tape, go around about maybe 3 or 4 times. So Jeff's going to go ahead and hold the camera. I'll kind of show you that. Again, if you've never used Teflon tape, I mean, it's basically just really thin plastic tape. And you always go with the thread. So say the thread's going this way, you want to wind with the thread. The reason you want to wind with the thread is because you don't want to unwind it when you put on the next piece. So I'm going to go around a couple of times here. That's 2. I'm going to go around 3 times. Again, we want this to be nice and tight. Just going to kind of tear that. It is very thin and easy to tear. I'm going to take this guy right here, and this is going to be the top. So I'm just going to screw it on by hand. And yeah, see, that's more of the kind of tightness that I wanted. And we're just going to go down almost all the way to the bottom of those threads. Again, if you're getting a lot of resistance, you may want to take it easy. You don't want to crack it. Now I'm going to stop there because I want it to point that way out. Okay. If we test it and it's leaking, I'll probably turn another half a turn, but I don't really want to because, again, I don't want to break anything. Here, now this is the male-to-male adapter that's going to have this hose thing on the end attached to the actual kind of like sprinkler part here. The only thing is we got this little tiny thing, so we're going to use, I'm going to take it as much as I can by hand. We're going to have to use like a little pair of pliers for the end, and of course you could use kind of any kind of pliers you want. And they do have this little piece here just so you can grab with the pliers without messing up the teeth. So I'm just going to kind of hold it and turn this around. And we're just going to go around a few times, nice and tight, until it's pretty much buried almost all the way to the lip here. And definitely want to keep a tight hold because you don't want to slip like I almost just did and get any of those teeth. Okay, so just a little bit more. And again, you want to be careful. This is pretty tough PVC stuff, but you don't want to break it. So that is pretty darn tight. We'll see how that goes. We'll put the other end on and show you what that looks like. Okay, so this one we can start by hand, but we'll probably hold the pipe in the middle. What you don't want to do when you got a male to male like this going on, if you keep tightening it, it may drive it further into this and end up cracking it. So you don't want to make that mistake. And again, people are going to say, oh, you know, the yellow one's for this, yellow one's for that. Yellow is actually usually for metal pipe, but again, this PVC is pretty awesome. I'm not a big fan of the white Teflon tape because it's just so flimsy and you got to put more of it around. So as I'm screwing this, I'm kind of watching. If I see that middle move, I know that I'm kind of driving further in. I'm going to go one more time. That may be pushing it, but the other thing is I'm not sure. Oh, see it start to move? So when that started to move, that's about as tight as it's going to get. It's starting to drive further into the inside. So I'm going to take this wrench. I'm going to grab this middle if I can fit it. Nah, it's not really going to fit any in there. Since I only got a little bit further to go, I'm just going to try to, there we go. And I'm going to try to straighten this out so it's equal to there. Now, if we were to run into problems, let's say for instance, that this does start to leak, we can always just silicone this or whatever. There's a lot of different things we can do. You can use different sealants and things like that. Honestly, this is not a ton of pressure, and I think this will probably work okay, but we'll find out. So that's basically how it's going to look hanging over the end. Again, even if all this leaks, it will most likely leak inside, but obviously we don't want it to. We can set it back like that. We can put it in the middle. We can have it like that. There's still plenty of room for that tube to go on and to put a clamp on there. It's going to basically go in like that. Now we're obviously going to have to cut a little niche in the filter for this to go in. That's why I kind of want to hang it back like that to make the niche really small. So Jack's going to go ahead and show us what this will be like. Basically, he's just going to feed that through that hole on the other side. We did try to like put one on and put it all the way, but it's not big enough. So we actually have to attach them both while it's on here. And basically, we're just going to screw it in as much as we can. And again, it doesn't have to be incredibly tight. If it leaks, it's not the end of the world. As long as the water is kind of dispersed throughout the bottom, because we want it to kind of evenly, come up through the sponge, if at all possible. How's that fit? Pretty cool? That's okay. That's okay. They get the idea. We'll tighten them up and then go ahead and put the other one on. So it's going to kind of be held in there, which is kind of cool. And then it's going to have all these holes kind of pointing in different directions. All right, so what we decided to do, the way that we're making our filter, is we're just going to make one huge 2-inch spout right out the middle. We like this kind of white one. We think it looks cool. It's just going to basically come out the middle, and it's just going to dump out like a big, huge, sewer empty or whatever. So we're going to drill. We're going to use a doorknob handle, doorknob cutter, and we're going to drill through. And then what's going to happen here is this is going to come up through evenly dispersed, but then it's going to collect in the top and then dump out the front where this guy is. And so we have a little seal, and we have this. And the reason that we made this one is because this is going to help to kind of hold the filter down, because we'll be able to like tuck the filter underneath it so it doesn't get occluded. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And since this kind of overlays, it's just going to dump out like that. And probably put this one on the inside like this and this one on the outside. We measured, we're just going to put it right smack dab in the middle. Veradec, the way that they did this, kind of like that little emblem, because we like their stuff, so we put it in the middle. It's actually completely centered. The A is right in the middle. We used a little ruler there, and we measured just to make sure. But yeah, that's right in the middle. So we made a little pencil line, and we're going to put this pretty close to the top. This ruler is Jack's great-grandfather's. It's one of these little folding ones. Isn't this neat, dude?
It looks older than me and you combined.
It is probably older than me and you and your grandfather combined. We've actually got a couple of these. They're really, really neat, and they're in amazing condition. And I kept them, and they're really cool to use. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and drill this through here, and we'll see how it comes out. Okay, so we made another mess again, but that's okay. We'll clean it up. Basically, this one fits right through, and we put the seal on the outside over that, and we still have quite a few threads left. Just kind of show how this would go. Yeah, it's hard because it's like at an angle. There you go. So basically, that's going to screw on there like that. You don't have to make it too tight. That's good for now. And we're just going to have that kind of spout pouring right out. I think it kind of looks cool because you got like the little silver sign and the white spout. You're going to see that out the back. This is going to be, you know, sponges. So we're going to go ahead and clean this all up and probably take this in the back. And then next step is going to be kind of hooking it all up and put in the media and all that kind of stuff. All right, so we cleaned everything up. We brought it back here. We got it on the front. Yeah, basically, we're kind of doing this whole kind of more of a modern look thing. So in our opinion, it kind of fits the look we're going for, right?
Yeah.
This is all the stuff. We're probably going to cut, you know, some smaller pieces to go down here in these segments, 1, 2, 3, with kind of half of it, and then the other half's going to kind of go on top. We'll make a notch for this. It'll go under here. So at this point in time, I mean, you can see it's getting late. This has been kind of working on this for quite a few days here and there. We're getting pretty tired. You had your high school orientation today, right?
Yes.
And all day yesterday at Cedar Point. You're exhausted. I can tell by how you look. We got I Am Groot that just uploaded to Disney, right? And then She-Hulk. We're going to watch I Am Groot, see if we make it through one episode of the first season of She-Hulk. And I think you're going to be passed out. So this is all going to kind of be a second video. This is going to be like a part 2. We just kind of wanted to show where we got everything, how we kind of put it all together, and our idea for this. Ultimately, the next video is going to show us hooking the pump up back there. It's going to go behind. This is going to be on the back. You're going to see through this, and it's going to be there coming down this spout and hopefully working well. We're going to hook this up. We're going to leave this old filter here for a while and let them both run for a while is the plan. But again, that'll all be in part 2, this whole second video. And then ultimately, when this thing starts to grow a little dirt and grime, we may even take this one off and then kind of empty some of the sponges in here. You know, and the whole thing is we're doing all of this before we add any fish. We're kind of getting it already. Larry's very excited, aren't you, Larry? Excited for some fish friends and for the new filter. He's eating on his bone here, and he saw us talking. Yeah, the girls are always like chilling out or swimming up here or going in underneath, but he's always wants to know what's going on here. He's a people turtle, aren't you, buddy? He's like, what are you doing out there? What are you making out there? We're making you a filter, Dudio. So I think it's going to look pretty cool from the front. It's pretty much just going to look like this and have a little waterfall coming out. So anyway, make sure to subscribe, right, and hit that bell so you don't miss part 2. This is, kind of a whole DIY filter build for this pond. We will have links in the description for all of our aquarium videos, and you can see all these earlier videos of how we did the pond and all this kind of stuff, and of course, much more to come. So we will see you next time, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.